Hello, how's it going? I just wanted to share with you. I had a problem with this. This is a 2005 Honda Rancher, and my mom was riding it down the road. It was an electrical problem, um, and it shut off on her. The lights wouldn't come on, and nothing would work. You couldn't do anything, and then it just completely shut off as well. So it wouldn't restart it when it started on the pull starter if you had one, whatever it is. And it was a fuse. It was that 30 amp main fuse right there. You see that main fuse? That was the problem. That one kept popping. So I thought, well, so I put a fuse in there and it was sparking and grounding and stuff. So there was definitely, obviously, some sort of a wiring harness that was grounded and not working. So after popping several fuses, which I know this is an authority, but we'll talk about that. After trying to pop several fuses, it still wasn't getting anywhere. So I didn't really use any special tools. I did use my test light over there, but you don't need it, at least for my problem. So the couple main problems on these, on any ATV, is if you have one of these, you can see mine's all rusted right out in there. That's a problem. So that's problem number one. Number two, a pretty standard thing is this voltage regulator. Voltage regulator. And those are really the only ones I know of. Lights sometimes can go out if you get some water in here, stuff like that. But this one and the voltage regulator are all very common problems, especially if you haven't been running a battery for a long time. Just battery in general, not having a battery in here. That's kind of bad on your voltage regulator. So at first I thought there was this little thing poking into this. You can see I hammered it over. It was sticking straight up into the wiring harness. That wasn't a problem, so I got some red tape on there. So the next best thing I did was, well, we need to figure out if it is a wiring harness problem or a different problem. Maybe these lights are blown out and are creating a short, or these lights or the key or this sketchy stuff right here is being a problem. We need to figure that out. So what I did is I started going around unplugging every single switch or every single plug. And on these Hondas, you don't push, you grab a hold of the little thing on the back right up here. You pull it towards you, and then it comes right out. Just like that. You pull it towards you. So I started pulling everything out, including computerized stuff like this. I didn't touch the sparky thing, the whatever the heck that thing is. But I unplugged all these ones on this rail right here. I unplugged all those up there. I unplugged these up here. And most importantly, I unplugged this one. And like I said, I thought that one was the problem at first, but the fuse kept popping still. So I unplugged it all. I put the fuse back in there. It was fine. Wasn't popping fuses. I plugged this back in, which is that one right there. That little tiny one right there. I plugged that one back in, still wasn't popping the fuses. So that's fine, right? So now you start just plugging stuff in. I plugged in this, check the fuse. Plugged in all these, check the fuse. This goes to your carburetable thing right there that heats up your gasoline for when you're in like Canada states or whatever, when it's getting cold. I don't have that one plugged in. I just cut it off there. But this is another common problem. Those go bad and they short out. So I plugged in them, plugged in this one, and plugged in this one, popped. Bam. That one popped. I'm like, oh wow. Well, that might be our problem. This is the voltage regulator. So I left that one. I took that one back off, and I plugged in the rest of these, and I put a new fuse in there. Plugged in the rest of them, put the new fuse in there, boom. Fuse still is fine. Now I'm gonna plug this in, and you watch that fuse right there. Boom. Key on. Lights aren't coming on at all. Key on. And it popped. I might not have necessarily needed the key on for it to pop. It might have just took it a long time. Bam. Unplug that. Now that's never going to pop again. So now I'm going to put in the actual fuse that is not popped. That is a 30 amp fuse. Alright, that one's popped. You can very clearly see that one popped. If the camera cares. It's popped. Doesn't matter. Stuff this one back in here. 30 amp fuse back in there. The one that's supposed to be in there. With that unplugged, right? Unplug-lated. Flipped light, bam. Light come on. Hit the starter button. If you give some choke. Now it'll go for as long as you want. You can leave this on here. It'll never be a problem again. So we need a voltage regulator. I hope this will help you guys. Yeah, I don't know. The biggest thing is you want to make sure it is either a wiring harness problem or a computer or a plug-in to the wiring harness problem. And that's what I figured out. So this thing is bad. It's not the electricals. We know that. And another thing is this thing's hot. I mean, that's about as long as I want to touch that thing. That thing is pretty hot. So maybe it's just as simple as go around your machine after your fuses, pop a couple fuses, and just check things for how hot they are. So like we said, this isn't plugged in, so that means that's not a wiring harness problem, or else there would be like a short in this wire, you know, somewhere up in here. But because this is hot, this is the problem instantly. So everything else works. Lights, if you plug in these, lights work. Does pop the fuse. Everything worked before that, so there's really no problem with that. But yeah, I was running this thing a long time with zero battery in it whatsoever. It's better to have a bad battery in here and plugged in than having no battery in here, because there's nowhere for your voltage regulator to get the voltage from the motor, and there's nowhere for it to put it, so it just kind of like stores it up or whatever, and it's not very good. So short video, hope this helped. And yeah, I'm not an electrical genius by any means. I hate electrical. It's very annoying, but really it's all super simple. So thank you guys for watching. No road needed. Out.